I have been so excited to share this with you today. There's no doubt that being a twin is obviously something so special, but living to 100 years old with your look-alike sibling is even more remarkable. I swear, this story amazes me. Today, George and James, you see them right there, Morrilton, celebrated that huge birthday surrounded by some friends and some family. KRK4's Rochelle Turner speaking with the twins who have witnessed a century of change. Rochelle, how was the party? These guys sing awesome.
Oh my goodness, Hillary, the party was amazing. Good evening to you. It was great seeing George and James celebrate their big day. They're not letting anyone define their age. They're still very active, funny, and loved by so many people.
Happy birthday.
Sitting side by side with smiles on their faces.
You tell me? Happy birthday. Oh, thank you.
Surrounded by their loved ones.
To me, I don't think you can find a nicer bunch of people.
At Lone Oak Missionary Baptist Church in Morrilton.
And I thank them for all they've done for us here.
George and James Morrow, celebrating 100 years of life.
I feel just as good as I did 25 years ago.
The twins were born in 1919.
I'd rather live back when I was a kid just to live today.
And a secret to looking young.
Get out and be honest and truthful.
And living a long life is simple.
Don't be afraid to work and leave the booze and the wild women off.
A sense of humor also goes a long way. And while age is just a number, the twins still enjoy the simple things in life.
I like to raise a garden. I like to see stuff grow.
The pair also shared advice for the younger generation.
Instead of looking at these phones and this, to learn something and how to do something.
And still remember what it was like growing up.
Yeah, we argued.
Holding on to a special bond they say will never be broken.
I think the good Lord has something to do with it.
Now, the twins' birthday is actually Wednesday, but they wanted to be around friends and family who came out of town. They told me they're going to keep living and enjoying life. And get this, one of the twins just got his license renewed. They have a younger sister, Miss Jeanette Morrow, who is 98 years old. Their oldest sister, Miss Maple Carter, is 105. Happy birthday, James and George. Back to you.
Very happy birthday to them. They don't look 100. That blows my mind. Well, switching gears over.